Hello, this is Amanda Farlinger with From Where I Stamp, and I'm going to show how to use some new celebration items that Stampin' Up! Has added from the annual catalog. So these items are free with either a $120 or a $60 order, but the ones I'm using today for the card will be the embossing, or one of the embossing folders, and so it would be free with a $60 order. And then I'm also going to share with you how you could get 3 embossing folders for free during celebration. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to call it designer series paper. I think that's in the name, possibly, that I overlooked in the holiday catalog. So let's get started. All right, so embossing folders. Now, I don't have all the embossing folders that Stampin' Up! Added for the celebration benefits, but these are 2 of them. So we have the Seashells 3D, which I hadn't had this one before, so I earned this one for free this time. And so, which it's kind of surprising I didn't have it, because I love going to the beach in Nova Scotia and PEI when I get there, because I'm in Ontario. But I'm kind of surprised I didn't have that one, but now I do, and we're going to use it for the card. And then this one is one of my favorites. Let me open it. It's a 3D. It's a 3D one as well, and that doesn't show it any better. So this is like wood grain, which is really pretty. So it's the Timber 3D. Here is, it's a little small. I apologize. So there's the Timber 3D, the gingham embossing, which I don't have, and the Seashells 3D embossing. So you can get all 3 of those for free, and I'll tell you how you can get all 3 at once. And I also, I have the daffodil dies. Is what project I'm going to do a pocket page using the daffodil dies on Thursday. Okay, just change my screen around. So move things out of my way. Okay. So for this card, I am going to use a thick, basic white card base. And we want to make sure that we have a bone folder or something else that you can crease that edge really well. I love the Tombow, the multi-purpose liquid glue. And we're going to use this gold foiled piece. And it is from, oopsie, backside, Festive Foils Specialty Designer Series paper. So it is. I love Designer Series paper. If you've watched any of my videos, I use Designer Series paper on almost all my projects. It is pretty. You can pull the colors right from it. So this is Soft Succulent, Gold, and Cherry Cobbler. So if you wanted to use all 3 of these together, and they don't have to be for Christmas. So this one looks like snowflakes, but it could be stars. So it could be like fireworks. And then this could look like tinsel, or, you know, some people will use gold for the Christmas decorations. I prefer silver, but and this one kind of looks like snowflakes as well, but it could be snowflakes or stars, or it's a great background, and I love that they're shiny. Shiny designer paper is awesome. Just adds that little bit. Now this designer series paper does not have 2 sides to it. So it is not something that you get extra designs. And I've cut this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've put glue all the way around the edge. You could put glue on the card base itself and then stick the paper on top. So whichever way works best for you. And I like working from the non-folded side over. So if it hangs over a bit, I can cut it off or whatnot. But I usually find it easier to start on the non-folded side. So now this card, whoops, I got glue on my finger. So now you could use the inside of this card for your message. Okay, now the embossing part. So if, my camera's a little close. I was going to say, if you are interested in any of the products I'm using, there'll be a link below that will take you to a product list. So the product list will be down below, but there'll be a link that'll take you over to where you can purchase those items. So that'll be in the description. All right, Seashells by the seashore. So this one is a 3D embossing folder. I like writing it right here in a permanent marker, just so I can never remember. And then that way when I'm talking to you, I can tell you what it is instead of going, oh. So this, my camera phone is pretty close, but this is the main Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So it's like the Mini. I use the Mini quite a bit in my videos, but this is bigger. So I will show you an embossing folder. Where did it go? So this, see the difference in size? This is the smaller one, and this is the bigger one. And then we have the timber. Let's put this one on top. So we have 3 different sizes of embossing folders. This one here will fit into the Stampin' Cut mini machine. It's designed for that. And then we have the regular size embossing folders. And then I think this is 6x6 embossing folders. So these 2 here, you need to use the larger regular Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, now you probably wonder what embossing folder this was. So this is from the Charming Landscape. See, my notes work. And it's from the holiday catalog in the Santa Express suite. Okay, enough talking. Let's do some embossing. Now, I don't know. Whoopsie. Sorry. All right, what do we want to show? I think I want to show this big, is it a conch? Conch? I don't know. And the platform will tell you what you need. So 3D embossing folders, we need the platform, our embossing folder with paper in it, and then 4, which is the specialty plate. And see, I even wrote specialty plate on here too. You got to have the keys, the notes to remind you. All right. But there's numbers on there too. So this one's number 4, and it tells you that you need 1 and 4 with your embossing folder. Okay, set that off to the side for a minute, and we'll take out our paper. And right. So there is our 3D. So this one has different levels of, I was going to say thickness, but different levels to how much the paper is embossed. So some of this, like this, is layered on top of that, and that is due to, you probably can't really tell, but if you had this folder, you could tell the difference in how, the thickness. Anyway, I don't know. Now, I'm not going to, but you could use some ink to ink this up, but we're going to just layer it as is. Oh, let's do some stamping before we put the card together. So I'm going to use the Art Gallery stamp set. I realized I didn't have many happy birthday sentiments, so that's something I'm going to have to go through the catalog. If you have sorry, I'm trying to find a block. If you have a suggestion of a stamp set that I could use or purchase, I'd love to hear it. Drop me a comment below, or send me a message. All right, here's my piece of basic white, and I pulled all 3 ink colors. Bermuda Bay. Oh, I used Coastal Cabana. Oh well, Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, and black, of course. And I wasn't sure if I wanted this one or this one, and I brought green just in case. I don't know. Let's go for Bermuda Bay, just because it's nice to stamp with something other than black all the time. Now, before I stamp, oopsie, I shouldn't put that away. It's in my way. So, simply Shammy. Gotta think of the word. Good gracious. So I have my happy birthday stamp on my block. I have my ink pad open. I don't like opening it all the way. I'm a little lazy. and it's a little hard to open and close sometimes. So we just want to ink that up. And this is a photopolymer stamp set, so it's better to have something underneath it, like the Deluxe foam mat underneath, so you get a nice clean image when you stamp. And then to clean our stamp, we just push it back and forth, and this Simply Shammy just has a little bit of water. We'll put that off to the side. And I like putting my stamps back right away, so then I'm not losing them. Okay. Too many things on my desk. So all these items will be listed below in the description, and then a link to purchase them on my website. And if you're in Canada and would like to place an order, that would be wonderful. I would be so appreciated of you. I would appreciate you. Sorry. All right, so we're going to put this here. This is 5 inches by 2-ish inches. And this one was like 2.5 by 4, I think. And I'm going to glue this one down. I'm still not sure about this color combo. This gold, granny apple green, and coastal cabana. This is the lighter, I was going to call it blue, green, teal, whatever color you think it is. But granny apple green is one that I have a hard time using, but it felt like an ocean color. Oops, sorry, you couldn't really see that. So we have our embossed and our sparkly paper all good to go. And then we have our birthday sentiment. We're going to grab my paper snips. Ah, look what I did. Good thing I didn't snip off the sentiment. We'd have to stamp that again. All right, I wanted to make a little flaggy banner. I don't know. I go between the two, whether it's a flag or it's a banner. Come on, get off. Okay. And this, we're going to use some mini dimensionals. Where'd it go? Right there. And mini dimensionals are my favorite. And I always end up using too many dimensionals. Well, okay, this time I didn't. Garbage can. Where did my garbage can go? I move things around because that's what I do sometimes. You think you have things organized, and then one day you go, that doesn't fit there. Let's put something else there. And then you have to move a whole bunch of things around because now you need more space. That doesn't happen to anyone else, does it? All right. So we're going to put this. Whoopsie. That is not straight. There we go. And to finish it off, I forgot to pull out. Nope, not that one. This one. So the Festive Pearls. So we're going to, it is red under the flap. There's red, light green, silver, and gold. So I am going to do, I thought I was going to do some gold on there, but I don't think so. I'm going to put that on the bubbles and maybe down here. And my team the other day, or the team I'm part of, told me that I couldn't do an even number of embellishments, that I needed to have an odd number of embellishments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an odd number. All right, so there's our card. And I told you I would let you know how you could get 3 embossing folders for free. So let me just move some of this stuff away. So the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is 100 and, oh, let me grab my catalog. I thought I had it written down, so I apologize. This one here. So we have 170 for the machine. So it comes with your platforms. There's the main base. There's the shim, not the shim, but what is it called? The die plate, 2 cutting plates, and then the other one. All right. Sorry, it's a little blurry. So if you do this for 170 and you get these two, I believe are 11, so then it comes up to $181. Celebration benefits are for every $60 you'd earn a free embossing folder. So you would pick 3. Now I don't have one of the other ones, but to remind you, there was the gingham was the third one. So you could earn all 3, and then you'd have 3 embossing folders to use with your machine. And then you could create this card. Now another option for you. Now remember, I'm going to use the daffodil dies coming up. So you could purchase the machine, and you could pick different dies if you didn't like these ones, but these are $11. So I was trying to keep it close to that 180. So 180 divided by 60 gets you 3 items, or you can do one $120 item and one $60 item. So here are the daffodil dies. I was going to call it Daffodil Delight, but that's one of our yellows. So here's the daffodil dies, and then you could choose maybe the wood grain folder or maybe the seashell folder to go with it. So $180 could get you the machine, 2 embossing folders and some dies, or the machine and 3 embossing folders. So there's some ideas for you if you don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And you can use, definitely, you do not need to have the mini machine to use these. These will fit right in this machine just fine. And always a tip for you, embossing folders fold first into the machine whenever you're using them. So join me back here on Thursday for my next project, which will be a pocket page. So I'm doing some scrapbooking. I'm using those daffodil dies. They're not Daffodil Delight. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've enjoyed this video. And that way you'll be notified when my next video goes live. Have a great day.